Oh, hello. You've caught me reading one of my favourite books. Shall I tell you a story all about the joys of podcasting? Once upon a time, in the bustling land of Creatoria, there lived a curious individual named Sam. Sam had always loved listening to the stories of others and dreamed of creating a magical space where voices could be heard across the kingdom. Sam wanted to create a podcast, but how? One day, Sam embarked on a journey to the top of Mount Soundwave, where the ancient podcast masters were said to dwell. Along the way, Sam met wise travellers who each shared a secret to creating a successful podcast. The first traveller, Audio, the sound weaver, whispered, "The foundation of a podcast is its quality of sound. Imagine trying to tell a story, but the listener can barely hear you over the noise. Invest in a good microphone and learn the art of sound editing. Crystal clear sound will invite listeners to stay and listen longer." Sam nodded and continued up the mountain. Soon, Sam encountered Creatoria, the muse of ideas. She smiled and said, "Your podcast success will rest on the strength of your content. Choose a topic you are passionate about, one that excites your spirit and sparks joy in your heart. But remember, don't just focus on what you want to say. Think about what the listeners in the kingdom need or want to hear. Solve a problem, answer a question, or entertain them in a way that no one else does." With Contentious advice tucked away, Sam climbed further and found Engagom, the social butterfly. He flitted around and buzzed, "A great podcast does not thrive in isolation. You must spread the word far and wide, engaging your audience both before and after every episode. Use social media, share stories, and connect with listeners. Build a community around your podcast so people feel like they're part of something special." The last sage Sam met on the mountain was Consistenta, a steady and wise elder. She said, "Creating a podcast is like planting a seed. It takes time for it to grow into something beautiful. Release your episodes regularly, whether that's once a week, bi-weekly, or monthly. Just be consistent. Your listeners will come to expect your voice at the same time like the rising of the sun, and they will stay loyal." After Sam received all this wisdom, the podcast masters appeared at the summit of Mount Soundwave. They handed Sam a golden microphone and said, "The final secret is this: be true to your voice. Authenticity is what will set you apart in the vast forest of voices. Don't try to mimic others. Your uniqueness will be the beacon that draws listeners." With the golden microphone in hand and the wisdom of Audio, Creatoria, Engagom, and Consistenta, Sam returned to the kingdom. Soon, Sam's podcast flourished, and the voices of Creatoria were heard far and wide. And thus, Sam's journey taught all future podcasters that to succeed, they need great sound, compelling content, audience engagement, consistency, and authenticity. And that, dear listener, is how you create a successful podcast. The end.